FPL managers, welcome to FPL Team Talk. Today we're going to focus on overseas players coming into the Premiership, and in particular how their form might be looked at or transferred across to the Premiership. If they did really well in the Bundesliga or La Liga, how might they fare in the Premiership? The prime example we'll look at first of all is Jaden Sanchez, probably the high profile so far of the players coming into the Premiership from the Bundesliga. Looking at his stats, being phenomenal, 0.76 when he first arrived at Borussia from Manchester City, then 1.03, what goal involvement that was, followed by 0.73 last year. To put that in context, that would blow Mo Salah out of the water. Okay, 1.03 will be up there likes of Kane. So he's obviously playing for a good side in the Bundesliga, albeit last year they were just scraped into the Champions League places, but still 0.73 is a really good goal involvement. But how can we expect that to move across into the Premier League? Is there any precedence set by other players? Of course there is. Let's have a look at a few of them. First one we'll have a look at, Kai Havertz. Obviously had a great couple of seasons, big money move to Chelsea. Leverkusen he played for, 17 goals, 3 assists in his first season over there in 2018. 2019, 12 goals, 6 assists. Goal involvement 0.5 to 0.6. Still really good for a midfielder. He's still young, learning his craft. He moved to Chelsea last year, didn't get perhaps as many starts as he could have done. 16 starts, 27 games, 4 goals, 3 assists. Goal involvement 0.26. Okay, you certainly can't say that he transferred his form across from Leverkusen into that Chelsea team last year in terms of his goal involvement. Still looks a quality player. And none of these stats, or what we're suggesting here, is that they're not good players. Kai Havertz clearly is a quality player for Germany, scored in the Champions League final. But in terms of an FPL asset, is he or will Sancho or the players moving across from the leagues be able to keep up their goal involvement? Kai Havertz suggests that maybe it's hard for them to do that. If we have a look at some of the other players that we've got, next one would be Aubameyang. His goal involvement for Borussia Dortmund, we're going back 5 years to 2016. He scored 31 goals in 32 games, 31 goals and 31 starts. That's just incredible. Following the season, 13 goals and just 16 starts. But both years, his goal involvement over 1. When he first came to the Premiership, his goal involvement still was up there, 1.08. He was still right up there with the goal involvement. Next season, 22 goals in 36 games, 10 goals in 29 games. Goal involvement still high, not quite at the levels they were the season before though. Other players, Pulisic, let's have a look at him. 4 years ago, 4 goals, 5 assists, 0.28, followed by a 0.31. When he came to Chelsea, his goal involvement actually went up to 0.52 and then down to 0.22. So his goal involvement has kind of swung around. It is worth saying, Pulisic, similar position you take to someone like Sancho, but he is again very young when he moved to Chelsea. Still learning his trade, being hit by injuries, but it's interesting how his goal involvement did go up when he first came here. An interesting one was Wassani. Really interesting that he went from Schalke. He had a good season there. He got a move to Manchester City. We're talking 6 years ago. 33 games he played, 23 starts, 8 goals, 6 assists, decent 0.42. He moved to Manchester City. His goal involvement went right up to 0.6. Really, really impressive. Back to Bayern, it went down. So actually, he's got more goal involvement playing in Premiership than he did playing in the Bundesliga. Is that because Manchester City was so strong? Suggests that maybe Bayern last year you would have to say are as strong. Maybe over time his goal involvement will go up. Don't know. Interesting one was Leroy Sané. We move across to Timo Werner. We know his goal involvement last year wasn't as high as it was at Leipzig. 0.4. It's still good. 6 goals, 4 assists. We know how much of out of position he was playing. I mean, there was times I think when he was playing wing back in one game at the start of the season. Out wide a lot of it. Heavier on assists than he was for goals, which isn't always the best for our forwards assets. But those figures for Schalke, 16 goals in 20 starts, 28 goals in 33 games, over a goal involvement every game. If he hits anywhere near those heights for Chelsea this season, that would be impressive. Again, not quite keeping up the same sort of figures though. So, if we have a look at all the players that we looked at so far, we've got Pulisic, Aubameyang, Havertz, Sane and Werner. We see a mixed bag really. Some players have gone up and then down. When Aubameyang kept his up, long term you just feel that he couldn't possibly keep that up. But he's just gone down. Pulisic, yes, he went up and then it's gone slightly down again. Havertz and Werner certainly gone down. Sane's was more impressive over here. But in terms of players such as Bailey, I mean, possibly seen the lots of Lukaku, Sancho already here, Martinez has been talked about. Can we expect them to get to the same levels as perhaps they were in your leagues? I think in conclusion, it's very difficult to say. You'd say on balance, no, they're not going to get up to the same sort of level. We're looking at possibly a 0.2, 0.3 reduction in what we've seen so far. Bailey would therefore end up with something like he's had a 0.6 goal involvement. He will come down to 0.4. And for his price, that still is quite an attractive proposition. Sancho will come down to about a 0.5, which again is still quite a useful goal contributions and still worth looking at. I would say, obviously, you've got to factor the fact that Sancho, whereas other players like your Havertz, maybe your Werners have had to adjust to the cultural side of things, not just the pace of the Premiership, Sancho may have that advantage of already being ingrained. He knows our culture, he's English, he perhaps won't have that transition to have to jump across to embed himself into the game. So, Sancho, certainly someone that interested me, perhaps as a cover instead of Bruno. Bailey, I'm not sure about yet, I'd like to see some more of him. Okay, that's all for this video, guys. I hope you enjoy it. Please press that like button, subscribe, help the channel out. Otherwise, I'll see you soon. Good luck.